The year? 2010. Isla Burke, Colton, is about to slay his first dragon. Thank you for jumping into Movie Tactics with us today. My name is Kyle. We have a special guest on this review right here.
Colton!
This is Colton. And the reason why Colton is here is not only does he have another channel called Test This, where we test a bunch of different toys and experiments and fun things on the channel, but he saw this movie with me we're about to talk about, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you are now coming of the age where you can enjoy these types of movies. We're starting to see more movies together. I think we have, Elio coming up next?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're starting to see more movies. Future movie buff right here, just like we all are. How to Train Your Dragon 2025 live action is what we're going to dive into today. The same director as the 2010 classic, Dean DeBlois, is back. And all your favorite characters, right? Hiccup, Astrid, Stork the Vast, Fishlegs, Gobbler, Rough Nut, Tough Nut, all these fun names that we grew up with. In fact, this movie, were you around in 2010? Colton was around in 2010. I was around in 2010. However, this movie was a little bit past my teen years, so it wasn't something that I would have seen and gotten real excited about with all the merch and all the cool new toys and stuff around. This series has a total of 3 animated movies, and now its first live action, right? Which is interesting because they just opened up at Universal Studios in Epic Universe, which we have not been to yet, but we do want to go. Yes, we do want to go. However, it's actually a perfect way to announce that opening with all the new land and attractions, and a lot of the characters we have grown up with and have seen now in live action are now at that park. So they did a good job kind of launching that about the same summer, didn't they? Yeah. Now, this movie is essentially based Isla Burke, and it's Vikings. All right. Now, it's more of a fun kid kind of movie, so it's not like violent Vikings or ruling lands and all that. It's really about this Viking island, Isla Burke, which is the name of the same in the theme park too. And this, it really is a shot-for-shot remake of the animated movie. So you'll see the Isla Burke, you'll see the Vikings. They have a bunch of issues with dragons picking off their sheep and trying to be fed, and they have a dragon nest. The Vikings go to the nest to try to destroy the dragons, and they want to rule the land of the dragons. And now in the end, of course, as we know from the animated movie, do they have peace? They work with the dragons together?
No.
No, you don't remember the end of the movie? He doesn't even remember. He fell asleep by then, didn't you? It's not that long. It's an hour and 54 minutes long. That being said, this being a shot-for-shot remake of the original seems to be kind of a risk. We've seen this fail time and time again with taking a beloved animated classic, turning it into a live action. Does it work? Will audiences enjoy it in the same way? Think of like The Lion King and Mufasa. It really depends on, do we really want to see these types of characters come to life on the big screen? But they have the same director in this movie. And what's his name?
Dean DeBlois.
Dean DeBlois is back. So you know this could have been a cash grab, being a live action, but it wasn't. It's not really that much of a cash grab, is it? It seems like he has heart in this. He's been in all the projects for How to Train Your Dragon, and this movie was filmed with heart in mind, right? It was a touching movie. The characters, the props alone are very well done. I felt like a Viking in the theater. We got hats when we walked into the theater, didn't we? We got, which hat did you get? You're pointing at one. Was it Rough Nut?
Yeah.
Rough Nut. We think we got Rough Nut for the hats. There's like 4 spikes, 4 horns on the hat there. They gave hats out at what was it, AMC? Yeah. So it was kind of fun to have that. Everyone was really excited. It kind of reminded me of Lilo and Stitch. I remember Lilo and Stitch, everyone was dressed up, and that was really fun to see. This movie, another live action, was not as much. They didn't have a lot of people dressing Vikings. Did you see anybody dressed as a Viking? No, there wasn't any real Vikings in this movie. But they did a good job. There was heart in this. It seemed like it wasn't much of a cash grab. It really was something where they wanted to portray these characters in live action. And the whole story and the movie itself really allows that to happen in a way that was really enjoyable. I thought the characters were very well done. They're quirky. They have oversized clothes, right? They have giant shoes. Like they have all like missing legs and limbs, but in a fun kind of way, which is interesting to try to put into the live action. But the dragons were another thing. What do you think about the dragons? Were they scary, like realistic dragons, or were they more like cartoony dragons? They really were more of like an animated dragon. They took the stance of having this being a fun, whimsical ride through these Vikings and their Isle of Burke and how they live. And these dragons weren't that scary, which is fine because it's a kid's movie. Now, if there was one thing I would take away and say that might be a hit on this movie, and the problem is it is a kid's movie, so I can't really say too much about it, but I thought they kept saying, like, we have to slay the dragons. We never saw any dragons slayed, did we?
Yeah.
They kind of just mentioned that they're going to slay dragons. They mentioned that I would use the hammer when they're trying to dispatch dragons or attack dragons, but they really just beat up the dragons, right? Yeah. There is no slaying or getting rid of dragons, but again, it's a kid's movie. It's only PG, so the whole killing of dragons might not go well with the audience, right? But it's still very much enjoyable. It didn't take away that much from what they were trying to portray on the screen from this already well-known story. Also, Gerald Butler is back, and Gerald Butler played Stork the Vast as the voice actor, and now he's back acting in this movie. I think he did great. That was Hiccup's dad, right? Yeah, so he did a great job. He was kind of playing that father figure where he was against the whole idea of taming and training dragons and working with them. They took his wife and Hiccup's mother already, so that was a whole thing in the middle. There wasn't really lull points in the movie. Did you get bored at all? Was there any points? Were you just busy with your popcorn? And you can't get bored with popcorn. And an icy. You can't get bored with an icy and popcorn in your hand. Doesn't matter what you're watching. But I thought it was a great ride. I'm going to give How to Train Your Dragon 2025 83%. I think it's enjoyable for all audiences, and I think a lot of folks will enjoy just the costumes and the props and the story and the heart behind this movie that we all fell in love with back in 2010. Anything else to say? Colton is speechless. What did you think of How to Train Your Dragon? Did you love the first one from 2010? Did you see the new one from 2025, this new live action? Did it still come across as this amazing story with lots of color and vibrant life? And the Isle of Burke has such a unique tone and vibe to it. Did you enjoy the movie? Let me know down in the comments below. We're new here at Movie Tactics, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let me know down in the comments what you think about the channel, what we can do better. Would you like to see more of Colton? Would you join if people wanted to have you join to see some movies? See, Colton will be here. He's a man of few words, but he means right. He means well. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next movie review.